Thanks again and welcome again to our second session here. I'm going to introduce Dr. Tracey Wilen. She's a prominent thought leader and speaker on the impact of technology on society, work, and careers. A former visiting scholar at Stanford University, she has held leadership positions at Apple, HP, and Cisco Systems. She was an adjunct professor for Bay Area colleges, teaching classes in business, technology, and women's workforce topics. Today's session, Society 3.0, the future of workforce, skills, and employees in a digital world, is going to start right now. Dr. Tracey Wilen, thank you.
Thank you. And good morning to you. Thank you for coming. You know, I love technology. Sometimes it doesn't work. It's usually my fault, quite frankly. But I love technology. And I don't think I'm alone, because I'm looking around the room right now and I'm seeing lots of devices. In fact, there's 7 billion devices in the world, smart devices, more than people. In fact, they say in the US, each of us have around 3 now. An iPhone, an iPad, and a computer. You're probably on Facebook. If we add up all the Facebook users, we'd be the 3rd largest country in the world. And I hope that someone is linking with me now on LinkedIn, because 2 people join every 2 seconds. And that's what this talk is about. We live in a digital world. And how is that changing not only our lives, but work, skills, industries, and employees? So what I'm going to do today is talk about some of the macro forces, some of the shifts that are happening in technology that are impacting our world, some of the skills, and also what we can do as employees and leaders. So let me talk about first some of the macro force trends. Extreme longevity. You're living longer. In fact, you're probably living to 100. See, she laughs. Everybody laughs when I say that you're living to 100. How many people know someone who's 80 years old? How many people know somebody who's 90 years old? How many people know someone who's 100 years old? Yes, you do. That's the fact is, we're living much longer. And even if you laugh at me and you don't want to live to 100, medicine is going to help you live there anyway. They're making pills so you can live to 153. We're giving us the capability to edit babies' DNA so that they live longer. So I went out. I went out to 200 executives and leaders. And I said to them, you know, if I told you you're going to live to 100, what do you think? Does anything change for you? And they said to me, you know, Tracey, if I'm going to live to 100, I'm going to have to afford to live to 100. And if I'm going to have to afford to live to 100, it means I'm probably going to have to work until I'm 80. 80, oh my God, I started working when I was 20. I didn't think that I would have to work 50, 60, 70, or 80 years. My parents told me I'll work maybe 25, 30, 35 years, and I'll retire and have my grandkids and our puppies and all great things. And look at this gentleman, 103 working at Walmart. Interesting, isn't it, right? If you're going to live to 100, you have to think about how to stay skilled enough, educated enough, and technical enough to be employed. On the flip side, you're probably seeing now in your workplace multiple generations in the workforce, right? McDonald's tells me their youngest employee is 14 and a half. Walmart, as you see, has an employee at 103. That's mind-boggling if you're in HR, if you're a business owner, if you're a manager. 3, 4, 5 generations in the workforce, what does it mean? Every generation has a different expectation about work. Every generation has a different idea of what leadership should be. Every generation comes in with different values, right? Different expectations about what their life and career is going to be. But you know what's interesting that I hear about the most? Is every generation has a different idea about technology. Some generations love it and say put everything on an app. Some generations hate it and say our business was profitable. If it's not broken, why fix it? And some generations say, you know what, I'm kind of confused by it. I'll learn it if you teach me. It makes me think about this YouTube video. You may have seen it yourself. It's about a young woman, a millennial, presumably, who gives her father a birthday gift. She gives him an iPad. He's presumably probably a baby boomer. And he loves the gift, and she stops by and says, Dad, how's the iPad going? And he said, you know what, it's great. The problem is he thought it was a kitchen utensil. Let's take a look.
Sag mal, Papa, habe ich dich noch gar nicht gefragt. Wie kommst du eigentlich mit dem neuen iPad zurecht, was wir dir zum Geburtstag geschenkt haben?
Gut.